we've talked about the brand that that I created. Um, we're focused on mentorship and people understanding how to not make certain mistakes
Mhm.
financially as well as their personal life, and then knowing how to be able to make investments and things like that. Early on, how did you manage your money as opposed to now?
I think one of the greatest management lessons I had came from my then agent and business manager, Tom Collins. He told me, he said, I'm only managing you and being your agent until you're able to do it on your own. I'm going to teach you, so you have to learn. And so I paid attention, so that I would know how to make my own choices and decisions. Um, During the course of that time, I owned everything from whole apartment complexes to hotels, banks, restaurants, a little bit of everything. And they were all educational, so much so that now, um, in the businesses that I'm in, I literally am a chief executive officer on the basis of all the experiences that I've had that brought me here, and they taught me how to take a little bit and stretch it a long ways and not think of it in terms of becoming a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, but finding a place where you can just be happy.
Right.
Because if money is the point, money, lust will drive it, and lust can never be fulfilled. So you
Right.
have to find happiness in the things that are fulfilling to you.
Right.
Family, traveling, good food, a relationship with God or relationship with the people you love. These are the things that I've settled on, and even when I failed at it, that I got back up, cleaning, getting all the dust and dirt off, moving in that direction because that's what I wanted. That's what made me happy. That's what
Right.
brought me joy, the greatest joy. And I write it almost in everything I accomplish. I write somewhere in the conversation. One of the greatest joys of my whole life is being a father to my sons. You know, and I'm not saying or mixing words. I grew up with a father who was abusive, and I didn't get to learn to know my father till the last couple of years before he died. Prior
Right.
to that, all I know is I didn't like him. I had issues and problems with him. That's why I understood us. you know,
Right.
uh,
Right.
I understood it from a different place, but I understood it, and it took my father's brother, my uncle Earl, dying because he drank himself to death till his insides burst. And my
Mm.
father sat on the couch for a whole year, dried out, didn't have a drink, and didn't drink for another 10 years.
Mm.
Because he and his brother were really close, and it broke his heart when his brother died. And I remember because I was 16 and had just transitioned into my belief system as a believer, and to watch my father do that, that meant a lot to me because he was doing something that was very hard to do,
Right.
you know, and he accomplished it. And but later on, he would wind up going back to drinking, and they said it wasn't heavy stuff, but Dad had had over half his stomach cut out, so he was told he couldn't drink anymore.
Hmm.
You know, and I don't know. He thought it was cool. It was just beer, but you know, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, most definitely. But everything comes together, you know.
Right.
And I wanted to touch back on where you were at, where you were talking about like getting to that place where you're enjoying what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with Rise to Succeed, it's pretty much me being able to talk to my past self in the
Hmm.
future. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I just there's a lot of different things from when I was doing music videos, commercials, as well as playing professional basketball and all this stuff, and I didn't know how to navigate these places well,
Hmm.
And I was also very stubborn. I'm pretty sure you could attest to that.
Hmm. That's
But
true.
you
What's
know,
up?
yeah, I think that's just like one of the paths as a man. But I think that the humility of listening to wisdom and learning from different things, and that's something that's invaluable, and um, that's why one of the biggest things for me was that I set this thing up where I can have opportunities for them to get investments if they want to invest or to be able to build their brand, how to build it, how to be able to live their life correctly, and understanding taxes and credit and corporations. There's a lot of things that people just don't know.